one thing to remember is we did close over this 9 EMA, or kind of right at the 9 EMA. The market yesterday went red to green, so we, of course, had like, right, that's kind of a bullish case scenario in terms of price action. So those are all kind of things to just be mindful of when you're looking at this. And so now we're starting to gap up. Now the gap up days are tricky because it does take you know, the range out of the market a little bit. But if the market's going to have like a really kind of bullish thrust, these days they just gap up. So we've got room to kind of like that 167 on it over the next couple days. So just something to be mindful of. Retail stocks are popping all over the board because you got like the news of like a lot of these stocks had upbeat Cyber Monday sales. Cyber Monday was fantastic. It was the best, okay? We had the best cyber sales ever. So, hey, you guys see a lot of retail stocks cruising around. Hey, Jason, what's up, baby? Jason, I did not get an email from you, my friend. I don't believe so. I'm always on that thing. And if you only sent one, that means you didn't really try. Like, one is like a courtesy, like, hey, what's up? Right? Two would be like, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of you, motherfucker, and you better hit me back. Hey, Eric, didn't you just ask for them yesterday? What do you think this is, France? I just saw you like 6 hours ago. Get off my jock. Man opens email one time a day. When that thing is open, you get your settings. When it's not open, you're not. Hey, Danny, what's up, baby? Yeah, but you didn't send 2 emails. You just said you sent 1. And you're distracting me now. Come on, we got things to do. All right, NTNX, gap up over here. We're breaking out over this trend line. We got room up to 50. I actually kind of like this one. I think this is going to be on the top of the list for what I'm looking at today, at least on the long side. This one has actually a history of making some good moves on it, and we've played this thing a few different times. I think we've got a little bit of juice on this thing. Watch this WB today. This one's going to be tricky. So WB's faded off at the 50 SMA like 5 times. If it can break and hold over it, which is about 63, 65, then this one will have some juice. But if it can't, most likely it just fades back into the range. And so you guys got to be real mindful to just do that. Hold on here 1 second. Making a quick trade. There we go. Anybody trading any Ethereum today? So like I was saying, we need to get this thing over 63. Otherwise, you know, we can't take it. So when you're thinking about like, gappers, right? Like they've got to break and clear over your resistance levels, or they just don't work that good. So what you got to do is, like, say you saw an ORB, but it was like right here, then it's not going to work, right? It's not going to have like the juice you want. It's not going to have really anything. So you got to always be like watching where your levels are on the daily. So trading is just about supply and demand zones, right? So where's the zone where supply would come in and where demand would come in? So like the CRM is another one you can put on your wrist. You got a really good range pre-market. You're breaking over that 200 SMA here. So you may have room to like kind of 142, 143. You know, beyond that, you know, you've got to be real careful in terms of like where you think it can go. Remember, like, so your demand zones are going to be kind of like 135. Your supply zones are going to be in that 142, 143. So it's kind of a little bit in between. You'll have to trade around that if you're trying to get into it. But, you know, overall it does look, it looks decent, right? It looks decent. You know, it's just going to have to kind of clear some of these things. The one caveat on CRM, of course, is the float is thick on it. So, like, it does a lot of volume. It just trades thick. So you've got to be, like, just super mindful that it's not going to move like a lower float stock necessarily. It should have good range, but like it'll move more like an AMD that kind of like grinds higher. And by the end of the day, you're like, oh man, that thing was up a lot, but like you almost don't notice it. You know, I was looking at CMCM. You know, the SSR will obviously be on this thing. So, you know, you may get a spike on this, you know, kind of 6, right, 7 or something like that. But, man, if this thing gets jammed into the 750, I mean, I'd probably try to re-short this piggy. I'm pretty sure they got nailed for, like, all sorts of fraud. Oh, yeah, investigating BuzzFeed report. Blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what a BuzzFeed is, but if it squeezes so big, then, you know, I'm almost thinking you jam that thing to the short side. Chico's! Man, what a cool name, right, for a company? So check this out. So Chico's, if you look at its weekly chart, like you're getting back down to levels that it hasn't been to for years. I guess you can't even find them on the weekly. You might have to go the monthly. So it's getting back into its like recession levels at 2009. So this is obviously a big drop. The SSR will be on this thing. But, oh, man. And you know what? It was hanging out at 6 when I originally put it on my list pre-market. Now it's getting down a little bit more. I keep an eyeball on this, though, for you know, an ORB or quick pullback buy. Usually at a $5 stock, when it's down that much, it's going to spike off at the open. What you'll have to do is watch it around the 9 EMA and see if it starts to roll over. If it starts to roll over, you're going to have a lot more fun on it, and you'll be able to kind of cruise that thing around. Probably my fave out of some of these names on the short side is this TIFF. You know, this thing's got earnings out today, and it's already been in a downtrend, but this one actually has a pretty good range. What's up, Arul? How you doing? Jay, how you doing? Good, good, good. Zachary, what's up, baby? Yeah, I'd put this on the, you know, I'd put this on the list. You know, watch these pre-market lows. You know, it may get taken off right off at the bat, right off the gate. And this Smuckers too. Now, Smuckers is not a priority like TIFF would be. This thing, like, man, I've tried to trade this thing like 50 times, and it just never has a big range on it. So just something to kind of keep mind of. What's up, Josh House? How you doing? Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are asking about this MS. What was it? MS Diggy thingy, ASNS, MSNS, whatever. This thing, it topped out at kind of what? It closed at 412. It's opening at 350, so it's going to be down. I don't know how many percents that is, like 10%. When you're down like 10%, if the SSR squeezes, if the SSR triggers on this at the open, then you can watch it for potential squeeze back up into the 4s or 5s. So if it kind of dips down pretty big at the open, you know, that SSR is on it. So you'll be able to come in and get a nice, you might be able to get a snag. The problem is when you're trying to snag something that dips, number one, you've got to scale in a proper manner. And then the other thing that you've got to do and be real mindful of it is like, you know, obviously if it starts to just kind of, if it starts to dip back, you've got to dump out of this thing. Cool, sorry. Yes, so AMD's probably, you know, man, I had 1,500 shares of this thing at the open yesterday. I goofed up the sells on that bad boy. This one had a pretty good range yesterday. I would keep this out of like the non-gappers. This is probably going to be one of my favorites. This is a bottoming pattern you're starting to see on this bad boy. You know, obviously that's... when you get a pattern like that, they can end up being pretty good. So I would definitely, I'd keep an eye on that one too. Look, if we need some shorts, you know, add this Labu to the list. You're starting to bear flag on this one. NBIX also, same deal. Watch this 85 mark. You know, if it goes green to red and kind of breaks down under these lows here, I think that one's going to get, that one's going to have a little bit of action too. We still got Crocs on the watch list. It won't trigger till it breaks this trend line over here. But if it does, that one's going to look like a swing trade. You'll be able to hold that thing for multiple days, and you put a stop loss fit, give or take about 25-ish, you know, when you're rolling with that thing. You can see there's quite a bit of action going on pre-market. So you can tell the market's going to be a little bit more rowdy today than it was yesterday. You're already starting to see, right, like a whole host of kind of different stocks moving around in the pre-pre, which hasn't been happening in the last few days. There just hasn't been any gappers and stuff. Bobo's, man, this is a slow damn stock. I mean, it's bottoming. It's just a matter of like, I mean, do you want to sit there and watch it dry up all day? Right? It's definitely bottoming. And then I got you, Josh. Yeah, I got this trip on my list too. You know, this thing looks like it should start accelerating somewhere around this level. So I definitely kind of keep an eyeball on that one too and get that pate going. SJM. Yeah, you can put Tesla on your list too. No hate on the Tesla. Oh yeah, let me get rid of these. All right, so that's our list. Cool. All right, what day we got? Wednesday? Cool. We're going to have a little fun today. Wednesdays are always good days to trade. It's hump day. If you can't make money on a hump day, right? What day can you make money on? Keep an eye on natural gas because you're getting a big gap down on D-gas. When D-gas goes down, right, it's U-gas starts to pop up. U-gas got sick range. It's kind of on my ban list, but I feel like I don't want to put it on my ban list. But it should be on my ban list. You know, I saw ACAD moving around, David. You know, what I didn't like on ACAD was the location. You know, like it's kind of gapping up into the supply zone. So that's going to be, man, that's going to be like a lot more tough for me. Hey, Jason, why don't you just cruise over, man? I'm just sitting around the house anyways. What's with all the... That's the easiest way. I'll be here until noon. You got anything to do? Yeah, NTNX is going to be hot. TIF's going to be hot. NTNX, TIF, SJM, bada. All right, guys. You know what we got to do? A lot of action in the markets right now. Yesterday was dead. I think I took like 2 trades and just bailed for the day. Today, I'm expecting an active day. Let's go do what we do.